You're listening to the House of Wellness right across Australia. Thanks to Chemist Warehouse, the home of real brands and real savings.
Well, for centuries, meditation has been practiced and praised for its many benefits to the mind and, of course, the body. And these days, with more and more children developing anxiety disorders, parents are turning to meditation to help children deal with everything from aiding sleep to dealing with anxiety, stress and tension. Lynette Carroll Bolton has recently launched parenting blog LoveLCB, and one of the focuses is kids' meditation. Lynette joins us on the line. Good morning, Lynette.
Good morning, guys. Hi, Laz. Hi, Kel. How
Hi.
you doing, you poor thing?
No, it's all right. We're here. We're here in our lycra, in our active wear.
Oh, good. I'd expect nothing less.
Lynette, why are parents now turning to meditation with the kids?
Look, I think so many of the points that Kel just touched on, kids these days are growing up in this really fast-paced life that even we, as adults and parents, we don't really know. We weren't exposed to those things when we were young. They've got social media, there's bullying, anxiety, stress, mental health issues. It's actually really, really tough being a kid these days. So I do think that parents realise that they have a bit of a responsibility to do what they can to help their kids deal with all these stresses. And I just think teaching meditation to kids, we're teaching them such a life skill, something that they can use moving forward. Rather than when they get a bit older and they might be experiencing these things, teaching it as a Band-Aid approach. If we teach them when they're young, then it's something that they can use themselves when they do experience these things growing up.
So good. How long, just take us through some of the meditation kind of practices that you, for example, do with your children, and how long should people be, trying to teach their kids to meditate for?
So the general rule of thumb for kids is 1 minute per year of age. So if you've got a 4-year-old, it's 4 minutes, 12-year-old, 12 minutes, and basically up to, when kids hit about 18, become adults, you can do about 20 minutes.
So it's not a time-consuming thing?
No, exactly.
4 minutes, easy.
Easy peasy. And you know what it's like. I mean, Kel, your kids are about the same age as mine. Getting them to sit down or do anything for longer than 4 minutes is impossible.
Can be challenging.
Exactly. So it's not about making an activity that's difficult for them. It's not about making them think, oh, my goodness, we've got to do meditation with Mum again. This is like the most boring 20 minutes of my life. It's about making it short and sweet and something that they enjoy. So you can do things like stories or, visualization. Even eating, mindful eating is something that my kids love to do.
Oh, that's
dancing.
Cute.
Yeah, it's cute. We first experienced it. We went to see the Shaolin monks, I think it was. But it's something, you just are very conscious about what you're eating. So you can do that for a minute rather than just shoving your food in your mouth. You actually sit down, you taste it, and you smell it, and you feel it and all those things. So mindful eating is quite a cute one. Colouring in, kids love doing colouring in, and that's quite actually a meditative experience for them if they just sit and be quiet. Just even simple breathing exercises or body scans and dancing and things. There's so many different ways to bring meditation into a kid's life. It doesn't just have to be sitting down.
Well, there's some great books and apps specifically for kids around these days too.
Yeah, and look, some people think the idea of using an app for meditation.
Yeah, right.
It's a bit ironic.
I was going to say what's good about this entire concept is that anything that gets the kids away from a phone or away from an iPad is a good thing. But now, of course, we've just dropped them back in that with the apps.
Sorry about that.
I think it's more as well, though, about being still and being silent and being in touch with themselves. So if the way to do it is to put on an app and put some headphones on or even just play some music, then I think that's a win, personally.
Lynette, it's Gerald here. Congratulations on your blog and on your Facebook. It's just it even looks relaxing when you go through it. The difficulty I find with meditation is that most people, when you mention that word, adults just roll their eyes back as if to say, oh, it's that wacky stuff where you sit around and you hold hands. The evidence is so clear in all sorts of things, from pain relief, and there's been lots of research done in Australia in schools, particularly in New South Wales, where schools with so-called problem kids, when they introduced meditation classes, suddenly everything turned around. And parents were coming along saying, thank you for what you're doing for my child. So how do we need this in Australian schools, do we?
Oh, look, I I think that is the greatest thing. I mean, I know that my girls do it. They're only in daycare, but they do little bits of meditation and yoga.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the people that I'm working with is Sarah from Little Rockers Radio, and that's an amazing kids radio app and online as well. And we're putting together a little program that we're actually sending out meditations, the meditations that I've written and recorded.
Yes.
But you can find on my website, LoveLCB.com. But we're sending them out to daycares, and we're encouraging people, the teachers and the carers, to use them with their kids and get back. And the feedback that we're having already is all of those things. You know, the kids are concentrating more. Their socialization skills are improving. They're developing better relationships with the kids in their daycares, with themselves. Their self-esteem is improving. Their self-awareness is improving. Their relaxation is improving. All of those things. So I honestly think that we should be. I think that should be a federal government thing. I think that we should be having a lot more concentration and focus on kids' emotional and mental well-being in schools, especially primary schools, because that's where
the foundation begins.
Yeah,
exactly.
And here's the kicker. This is a life skill, right?
Yes.
If you learn how to meditate and how to get yourself focused and if you're feeling bad, how to get yourself better, then you're going to take that through to your first job, your first job interview, then all the stresses that come with the rest of your life. If at any point in your life, if you have the skill to sit down and take deep breaths for 10 or 15 minutes and get yourself back on track, that's something that sticks with you for life.
100%. And I think what we're seeing now is when we're teaching it to people who, 20% of Australian adults suffer some form of mental health difficulty, and 1 in 7 kids do as well. So teaching people when they get to their stage, it's more of a Band-Aid approach, which is amazing, obviously, but I do believe that if we get to kids when they're younger, and like you said, Laz, it's a life skill. If we can teach it to them when we're young, then we'll see such a change in kids' behaviour and their approach, and hopefully these statistics as well.
All right. Well, it's terrific to talk to you this morning. I'm sad that you're launching this now, because when we were dancing against each other on Dancing with the Stars, and you saw me as stressed as I've ever been in my 50 years of life, you didn't offer any of this advice, Lynette. You were happy to see me crumble.
I was using all of my meditation skills for myself.
All right. Lynette, lovely to talk to you. The parenting blog is called LoveLCB, and there's some terrific information on there. And get those kids in the zone for meditation and relaxation and a little bit of yoga, and they will take it with them for the rest of their lives. Lynette, thanks for talking to us this morning.
No worries.
Thanks,
and
Lynette.
there's free kids meditations on there that everyone can download as well. So if anyone's interested, head on over and you can get some free ones to have a trial run. And there's some there for adults as well, Larry, if you feel like it.
All right, Lynette, lovely to talk to you this morning on the House of Wellness.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.